The Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call, please.
Alderman Rose.
Here.
You all right?
I said here.
Sorry, I was worried about Carrie falling over there. Alderman Osteen.
Here.
Alderman Ross.
Here.
Alderman Barella.
Here.
Alderman Hoffman.
Here.
Alderman Rucker.
Here.
Mayor Hermanson.
Here. All right. We have a couple of proclamations this evening. The first is National Public Works Week. This is a proclamation of May 19th through the 25th, 2024. Whereas public works service provided in our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works system and programs such as water, sewers, streets, highways, public buildings, and solid waste collection. And the health and safety and comfort of this community greatly depend on these facilities and services. And the quality and effectiveness of these facilities, as well as their planning, design, and construction, is vital dependent upon the efforts and skills of public works officials. And the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff public works departments is materially influenced by the people's attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, I, Michael Harmison, Mayor of Osage Beach, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through May 25th, 2024 as National Public Works Week in the city of Osage Beach, and I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing our public works and to recognize the contributions which public works officials make every day to their health, safety, comfort, and quality of life. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Osage Beach to be affixed this 16th day of May, 2024. All right, the second proclamation is National Emergency Medical Services Week. This is May 19th through the 25th, 2024. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service and the members of emergency medical service teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those experiencing sudden illness or injury. And the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, emergency nurses, emergency physicians, and others. And the members of emergency medical service teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical service providers by designating Emergency Medical Service Week. Now, therefore, I, Michael Harmison, Mayor, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 19th through the 25th, 2024 as Emergency Medical Service Week. With the theme EMS Strong Call to Care, I encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Osage Beach to be affixed the 16th day of May, 2024. All right, moving on to citizens' communications. This is the time set aside on the agenda for citizens and visitors to address the mayor and board on any topic that is not a public hearing. For those here in person, speakers will be restricted to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted. Minutes may not be donated or transferred from one speaker to another. Any questions or comments for the mayor and board may also be directed to the city clerk at tberreth@osagebeach.org no later than 10 a.m. on the board's meeting day, the first and third Thursday of each month. Submitted questions and comments may be read during the citizens' communications section of the agenda. The Board of Aldermen will not take any action on any item not listed on the agenda, nor will it respond to questions, although staff may be directed to respond at a later time. The Mayor and the Board of Aldermen welcome and value input and feedback from the public. Is there anyone here in person who would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Has the board had an opportunity to review the minutes from May 2nd, 2024? the bills list from May 16, 2024. And Alderman Hoffman, are the new liquor license for Harley-Davidson in order? All right, if I don't have any comments or questions, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, consent agenda has been approved. First item of business, unfinished business, Bill 24-31, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Four Seasons Plumbing for the Beach Drive Culvert Replacement Project for an amount not to exceed $62,158. This is the second reading. Assistant City Administrator Mike Welty, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I have nothing further to add. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
So moved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rucker, roll call, please.
Alderman Barilla.
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
All right, second reading, Bill 2431 is passed. Moving on to Bill 24-32, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the expenditure of funds for promotional efforts to support the Lake of the Ozark Jeep Invasion event support request for an amount not to exceed $3,000. Second reading. Gina Woods, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board, the first reading was read and approved at the last meeting, May 2nd, and I'm happy to answer any further questions.
Comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading? Alderman Barilla, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Osteen. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Alderman Barilla.
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. Last item of unfinished business, we have Bill 24-33, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to sign an engagement letter with PGAV Planners, LLC, PGAV, for an analysis of the incremental tax revenues for the Oasis at Lakeport project in Osage Beach, Missouri, for an amount not to exceed $50,000, excluding applicable reimbursable expenses. Second reading, City Attorney Cole Bradbury.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. I have nothing further to add. Happy to answer any questions.
Comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman, roll call vote, please.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Alderman Barilla.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
Yes.
All right, second reading of that passes. First item under new business is Bill 24-34, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Logan Excavating LLC for Osage Beach Road Improvement Project for an amount not to exceed $1,093,287.80. This is the first reading. Assistant City Administrator Mike Welty, please.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. This project was advertised in March. Bids were opened in late April. The city did receive 6 bids, the low bid being Logan Excavating for $1,093,297.80. I don't think we've ever done business with this contractor before, so we did do a lot of research on some of the projects they've done in the past. They've done a lot of large-scale projects, have a history, a good history of quality work with MoDOT, Cole County, and Missouri S&T. The bid form for Logan and the bid tab are attached. Pretty happy with the turnout on this one. We got 6 bids. It really feels like we're starting to get more bids with some of our projects. This project is significantly under budget if it's approved. The project will provide a new asphalt roadway, sidewalks, curb, storm drainage, and new street lighting from the Parkway all the way to about 30 foot past Goodfellow Road, which is roughly just a little under half of the total road itself. I do recommend approval.
All right, thank you, Mr. Welty. Comments from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion approved.
Alderman Rucker. Do I have a second? Alderman Morose. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
You meant Alderman
I got
Ross.
it right.
What did I
You looked at
say?
Alderman Ross and said
Oh, I'm
Alderman
so
Rucker.
sorry.
I wrote it down right.
Thank
It's been a long day for
you.
you.
Yeah, thank you. My apologies, Alderman Ross.
No worries.
Or compliments, one of the two, I'm not sure. All right. Next, we have a motion to approve the purchase of new Pioneer, how do I pronounce that, Zach?
Centrifugal.
What is it?
Centrifugal.
Centrifugal. I battle with that. Centrifugal?
No. Centrifugal.
Like centrifugal force?
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen that word before. All right, Pioneer Centrifugal Transfer Pump Trailer Package for Cardinal Pump for an amount not to exceed $59,940. Public Works Director Zach Willer.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, members of the board. This is for a Pioneer trailer-mounted pump from Cardinal. The bids did open at the end of last month. Cardinal Pump was not the low bid, but they were the only one that met the specification that we required, which was 1,500 gallons a minute. They could push 155 foot ahead and handle a 3-inch solid. This is an emergency/maintenance aspect where we would be bypassing stations or bypassing issues during repairs processes. The last time we used one, we rented one out of St. Louis when the Sands main collapsed, and that's how we bypassed that collapse. The idea going forward is that once we have the pump and the technology at hand, we would be using it more often. All the new station upgrades that are going in, we're starting to see them with bypass connections already installed, so closing the valve, hooking onto one side and bypassing it around. The idea with this is hopefully we can get Rockaway dry with it by bypassing it around the station the same way. It is under budget. I think it's $59,940. Budget was $75,000. And I do recommend approval.
All right, comments from the board, questions? Alderman Rucker.
So how many bids did you have turned in?
5.
Okay, so 4 of them
6.
didn't meet it.
Right, either,
Right, so Cole, should we not mention who those 4 bids are that staff is recommend for us to throw out, or, I mean, because there's not a bid tabulation sheet. So since we had them turned in, and we kind of have this discussion that we, the board, need to take the recommendation of staff and just agree with their disqualification or something along that lines?
We have never in the past did 2 separate motions. By approving the one with the reasons listed in the motion of why the other ones aren't accepted, have done the process all in one motion.
But haven't we also had the other bids shown us, but they were, see, we don't even have a bid tabulation. We've had a public bid, and we've publicly have had those turned in. Shouldn't we do something publicly and in the minutes to agree to throw them out?
But they don't meet the bid requirement,
Correct.
so why would we even consider them to start with? They're not valid bids in my mind.
If they didn't meet the specifications, they weren't part of the bid tabulation, so therefore they were automatically disqualified. So I don't think we need to make any kind of separate motion.
I guess I didn't review the ordinance frequently, because I don't think the staff is it within the staff to throw them out? I thought the staff had to bring them to us and we threw them out.
Well, we're kind of doing that all in one motion.
I think that's, if we reject all bids, we do that.
That is a separate process.
But that's a separate that's if we, if we put it out and nothing comes back, or we decide for, situations changed and we no longer want to proceed with the project, then yes, we do bring it to the board to, I think we did it a couple weeks, a board meeting or 2 ago where we had a motion and it failed for lack of a second. But this is, we're taking an affirmative act, which is approving the one bid that we did get that meets specifications. In doing so, we're rejecting the other bids.
And I don't have any problem rejecting, I just want to make sure we're dotting our I with it, and I
I think our procedure is actually best practice, the minimum legally required procedure is actually considerably less than what we do. I think what we do by our ordinances is a lot more than we're required to do, but I think it's best, we go above and beyond
Okay.
on the transparency side. I think
All right.
we're kosher.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
I'm sorry?
It's just a motion, it's
Oh.
not first reading. This is just a motion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Hoffman.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ross. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion's approved. Thanks for keeping me on my toes. We have another motion to approve the electrical upgrades and panel installations of the Sands and Rockaway lift stations by Athix Electric for an amount not to exceed $358,308. Public Works Operations Manager, Zach Wilbur, please.
Thank you. Mayor, members of the board, this is the final portion of the Sands and Rockaway panels. This is the installation and electrical upgrades to the sites to remove the old and install the new panels that were passed about a month and a half ago. Includes a variety of things, mostly the big hang up on where's the transfer switches, but pretty much all new electric all the way through from the transfer switch all the way to the panels, removal of the old panels, installation of the new panels with significant facility upgrades to help hinder or hopefully eliminate totally what happened last time with the H2S getting in. So sealed panels, we're sealing the conduit, trying to keep as much H2S gas from leaving the station as possible. So not only is it replacing everything, but it is an upgrade and hopes these things are airtight and we're not have to worry about it. The issues last time as far as the metal getting eaten away, the insulators melting off or I guess deteriorating from the H2S. It will take around 7 to 10 working days for each site. We have worked with Aesthetic Electric extensively in the past. It's a local company, handles a lot of whenever we have a station go down, he's our first call, really responsive, great customer service, very knowledgeable. Did the stuff on the water side as well for us, so the installs for the new Swiss 3 pump, that was Aesthetic Electric. I do recommend approval. It did come over budget for the whole thing, roughly $18,000, but there is some savings already realized in that account. That account itself stay under budget, but it did kind of leak over budget a bit. I do recommend approval and answer any questions.
Comments, questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion is approved. Next, we have a motion to approve the purchase of 300 tons de-ice salt from Kansas City Salt for $25,200. Assistant City Administrator Mike Welty.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. As you know, every year around this time, I work with many of the local municipalities to do a cooperative bid. We always seem to get better pricing when we bid it all together for all of our salt needs. This one has, I think, 5 or 6 of local governmental entities that have piggybacked onto this. For us, we're going to spend about $25,200 on about 300 tons of salt this year. Quite a bit less than what we normally get. It was a really mild winter. We always budget for 40 because we don't know exactly what the winter's going to bring, right? But in this particular case, we don't need to spend that much money on salt. 300 tons delivered by the end of September, October is going to do us just fine, put us back to where we need to be. Is under budget. There was one disqualified bidder. The details are on the bid tab. The low bidder is Kansas Salt. It's been a few years. We used them back in the early teens, but we haven't used them in a while, but their price is really good, so we're pretty happy with it. I do recommend approval.
All right, thank you, Mike. Alderman Rose.
So it's my understanding we have salt left over that we purchased from last year, correct?
We pretty much always do.
I didn't know that.
We
Depends
always.
on the winter and how
yeah,
severe
it just
it is.
depends on the winter. but we like to make sure that we have enough for the worst winter possible so that we can make sure that we are, providing the customer service necessary for the citizens. And to do that, we kind of have to fill up every year, so.
Right.
Only taking 25 this year, so.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments? Alderman Hoffman?
Is there a shelf life on it?
No, in all reality, it's covered storage for the salt.
So 5 years from now, it'd still be good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We really, a normal given, we would see that rotation go out about every 2 years. We have enough salt for 2 years, and so you'd see it kind of, it's only stay in the bin for about 2 years.
I mean, I assume you use the old stuff first. It is, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
All right, any other comments or questions? All right, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Osteen, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion is approved. All right, before we get into the next appointments, I just kind of wanted to let you know that went through these a week or so ago with Alderman Rucker and Alderman Ross. You know some specific dates on there. Alderman Rucker has done a nice job of trying to not let several people expire at the same year, so that's why you'll see some different dates on there, and try to, whenever possible, get as many people representatives from each ward. So that's why you'll see some different dates, and they do match up to what his suggestions were, so we don't have a bunch of people fall off in any one year. The first one is a motion to approve appointments by Mayor Harmison to the Board of Zoning Adjustments. So we have, you'll notice on your slip sheet, Fred Catcutt, Ward 3, with a new term expiring 6/1/28. And we have alternate Larry Jones, Ward 1, with a new term expiration of 6/1/25. Any comments or questions on those? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations to those two gentlemen. Next, we have a motion to approve the appointment of Andrew Bowman as city engineer for the city of Osage Beach. City Administrator Gina Woods.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board. So the Board of Aldermen, official consent of the mayor's appointment of Mr. Bowman is necessary. That's what this motion is. This was following the closed session decision that was held on May 2nd. Mr. Bowman has accepted the job offer and has a pending start date. You're rubbing off on me. Start date of middle June. So we'll do more introductions and openings at that time, but this is the official motion to solidify the closed session.
Very good. You must have been in the same meetings I was in.
Must have been. I think so.
Any comments or questions from the board? Alderman Hoffman.
I just want to thank everyone. This was a position that took a long time to get hired. And I just want to thank Gina and the rest of the staff for diligently staying on it and finding us a really good candidate.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Rucker, do I have a second? Alderman Hoffman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, welcome aboard, Andrew. I think we're going to all be happy. And I think somebody owes me a drink, if I remember right. All right, next we have a motion to approve the appointments for the Citizens Advisory Committee. We have Gloria O'Keefe, who's here today. Ward 1 for new term 6/1/2027. And we have Bob Van Hook, Ward 3, new term 6/1/2027. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ross, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Gloria and Bob. Next, we have a motion to approve the appointments to the Planning Commission. This too is mayor appointments. We have Alan Blair, Ward 2, new term, expiration date 6/1/28. And we have a new appointment, Chad Carlson, Ward 1, term expiration date 6/1/2027. I will let you know, I did get an email from Chad that his name is Chad Carlson. My family and I moved to the Lake area in 2017 from Dubuque, Iowa. My wife Jean and I have 3 daughters and 1 granddaughter. 2 of my daughters attend Osage Middle School. He has an associate's in graphic design, was employed by Osage Beach as a water foreman in 2017 to 2021. In 2020, he became a real estate agent in the area, working with the Albers Real Estate Advisors, and looking forward to the opportunity to serve the Planning and Zoning Commission. So I do think he will be an asset to the commission. So, any comments or questions on those 2 appointments? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Ross. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, next we have a motion by a board member to appoint a board member to the Planning Commission. And this is Alderman Rucker, please.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Bob Osteen to the position representing us on planning and zoning, term to expire June 1, well, actually May 1. No, I guess June 1. The only problem is if Bob doesn't get reelected.
Then you'll have a.
You just have to move it up faster. Okay, June 1 of next year.
All right. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I made the
He just
motion.
did.
I'm sorry, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman, who said that? Alderman Hoffman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, my apologies, folks. Congratulations. All right. Next, we have a motion to approve the appointment to the Tax Increment Financing Commission. This is another mayor appointment, the appointment of Richard Ross for a new term of 6/1/2028. Comments or questions from the board?
I have one question.
Yes.
Who is Richard replacing? That was the board representative, or was
He's
it
just
vacant?
himself.
His term expired.
It expired.
Okay.
It's just an expiration.
All right, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Morose?
So moved.
All right, do I have a second? Alderman Osteen. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. Next, we have a motion to approve the appointments by the mayor to the Board of Appeals. We have John Mueller with a new term of 6/1/29, Dave Crabiel with the new term of 6/1/25, and Terry Ross with a new term of 6/1/29. Comments or questions? Alderman Osteen.
I do have a question, maybe it's for Kevin. I understand sometimes there's overlapping expiration dates, but on these, we've got an expiration date of 2025 and some of them are 2029. I'm just not sure how that,
Now, in years past, this has gotten all lopsided because when appointments were made, they weren't made with, when somebody left their term midterm, they were just automatically given a full like 3 or 4 or 5 year term, which was the normal term. So in order to try to balance it out, that's what the mayor was talking about earlier. We needed to, there would have been a whole bunch of them expire their term at one time, because by spreading it out that way, you hoped, if everybody would all of a sudden, when the end of their term would leave, we could have a big void. By this way, hopefully everybody would be staying their term, and if they would leave at the end of their term, we would still have through just losing 1 board member, 2 at the most each year. So we would not have a whole fresh new board or a majority of fresh boards.
so in years past, when somebody was appointed, if somebody left, somebody was appointed, they didn't just fill out the remainder of that term.
And that's what
They
created a
served
lot of the
another-
problem we've
okay.
had. Yeah, and I've been trying to work with the mayor over the last couple of years. This year here, we've just finally got through it. We've got it pretty well back on keel to where it should be.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to
Alderman
approve.
Rucker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Hoffman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion is approved. Next, we have a motion to approve by the mayor for the Liquor Control Board, appointment of Justin Hoffman with a new term of 6/1/26. Comments or questions, anyone? Seeing none, do I have,
I know.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second?
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Alderman Rose. All those in favor?
I abstain.
Aye, I guess.
He is getting better about reading his emails, though.
Thank you very much.
And I will say, he is experienced for the position.
I I sure love this mayor and board. It's
It's liquor control.
it's like
Next we have
military intelligence. Hey, you gotta
Next, we have
you gotta be out there, with the team.
motion to approve by the mayor to the Lake Ozark Osage Beach Joint Sewer Board. Appointment is Alderman Kevin Rucker for a new term expiring 6/1/26. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Alderman Ross, there's second, Alderman Morose. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that was approved as well. All right, last item on the agenda is discussion only tonight for the special election for November 5th, 2024. And I'm going to go ahead and let Alderman Morose take over.
It'll be a short discussion. I've done a little bit of research, and it didn't take much, but because I was naive about it, that if we choose to have it go on the November ballot, we will have to pay an additional money, and it could possibly be as high as $5,000. I am not going to have the city spend that money. I say that I recommend that we wait till April, and maybe it's probably good because of our water, sewer and water increase rates that we're looking at for the public. Maybe they may look a little bit better for us to present a user tax in the spring rather than right now. So right now, I say let's not put it on the November ballot, and hopefully we can discuss it further to put it on the April ballot.
Okay. Anybody else have any discussion? Alderman Hoffman.
I concur with Alderman Morose. I do really hope that the public sees the value in this. I really think this is an important piece of legislation that we would like to get passed. I think it helps the city out. But that being said, in order to do that, I think that the optics work better to do it and wait a little bit. So I appreciate your effort in that, and I agree with you.
All right, any other discussion? Alderman Rucker.
I think we need, I have some reservations, to be very honest. The public has spoke. I think they've spoke wrong, but that's not, that's their option, that's their opportunity. And I think that we need to set a timetable when we're going to have some discussion on this further, why it didn't pass, what we can do to make it pass. And I think that was part of our reasoning our last time. We didn't have enough lead time. There's some things that we can do, in my opinion, if we're going to make it get a better chance. So with that being said, I know we keep saying strategic workshop. There's only so many hours in that day. But I think if anything, I would like to maybe just put a short discussion that we create a window when we're going to have another discussion. If we don't have enough time for it, because that's not an item that has to be decided then. But I believe we need to be moving forward in the fall. If we're going to be doing this, we need to be moving and setting a game plan up in the fall and not in the first quarter of next year. So I'm not saying I'm a favor, but I think that I'm leaning towards it, but I think that we should have a little bit further lead time.
Alderman Barilla.
I feel like it failed just because it's a lack of knowledge from the people of what it really is, and they don't understand it. And maybe, the communication specialist that we just took on can help us with that.
Okay. Anybody else? Alderman
I
Rose.
concur with Alderman Rucker and Celeste. Basically, I think it's called advertising and marketing it, getting the word out a lot better. I mean, for 2% on top of the Missouri state, which is 4.225, I think it is. But nevertheless, 2% is not that much money, but what are we going to do? Why people say, oh, it's a raise in taxes. No, let's look at that, because we're losing money with them buying online rather than from our local businesses. I'm not punishing them that, because I certainly purchase things online. But the fact that they understand why we're doing it and how we're going to use the money. So it'll give us a lot of time to advertise and market that. Thank you.
I've got a question for Gina, would be the one to ask. If it was put on the November ballot and it passed, when would they start collecting that 2%? What
day. It's like the first month of the following quarter, once it's certified. So it's a set timeline from the state.
Would it be
I'd have to look, but it
January,
wouldn't be
maybe?
immediate, and
I
it
think it's
doesn't,
April 1.
it's like the first month of the next full quarter after it's been
So would that be
certified.
January if
It'd be closer to the early 2020.
I know the answer to that one.
And then-
Because we just did it with the marijuana one. So when we passed marijuana at municipal April, it didn't kick in until October 1. So November would be
Right, April 1st.
April
then.
1st, I believe. or-
And
or-
here's where I'm going with that, just something to consider, and I agree talking about it at strategic planning, but if it was on the ballot in November, because if I remember correctly, Gina, you had talked about one time approximately $300,000 in taxes.
Right.
So if you're talking about $5,000
Yeah.
investment to get roughly half of that, it might be a good investment, so rather than waiting, so just remind yourselves of that too, so.
I will definitely add it as the discussion. We always tend to have some form of discussion about potential revenue opportunities. That has been centered around use tax. I know we've talked about public safety tax and park tax as well, but we will definitely add that. Something to consider, like Alderman Barilla said, we do have some new plans for some additional PR, but keep in mind, city money can only put facts out, we cannot sway. So that is really the elected body, and trying to come up with an innovative champion partnership with a civic organization that can help champion the vote yes type of campaign, because absolutely city staff and city dollars cannot have anything to do with a vote yes campaign, absolutely not. The details that I put out for marketing, that is sufficient, and that's what we will continue to do. But I don't think that's the piece that was lacking necessarily. It was the champion partnerships of the elected body or other groups educating the businesses, city staff. It's against Missouri ethics, and to be fine. So I think, like Alderman said, Alderman Rucker said, we've kind of talked about pieces. So that'd be a good time. And if it's something you want to kick off sooner, you got a little bit to discuss. So I'll definitely add it in July, but something to think about it. How do you champion a partner with another civic group that has the means to champion the vote yes that city staff absolutely can't do?
Often.
Would Chamber of Commerce qualify for that or no?
Chamber, any other civic group that is.
Rotary, any of those?
Rotary,
Okay.
any business association. You've got several different business associations, so if you start there educating, as city staff, I have went and talked about ballot issues, but really when it comes to the voting yes piece, that really needs to come from an alderman. So we're kind of tied strategically in how we can apply it on staff side, but we can help you as the elected body and partnering with civic groups for better campaign.
Thank you.
Alderman Rucker.
I totally agree, but I would tell you, Gina, I believe that you don't have to have a civic organization. What you have to have is you have to have a group of people that get together, do the proper filing to the state.
That too.
4 of us could create that group and call us the Citizens for Osage Beach. So if you get some people that are very strong and very champion-minded that can do it, and then they can go out and solicit funds from wherever they want to get their funds from and put up signs, say vote yes, but it doesn't have to be an
Right,
organization.
that's very true.
It has to be
Like
an
campaigning.
a group of people that satisfy the election
Requirements.
requirements, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
All right, very good.
sounds good.
All right, thank you, everybody. Yeah, any other discussion on that?
I have one question on that.
Yes, sir.
So if we were to decide, if we had interest, I'm not saying that I do, but if we had interest to put it on the November ballot, when do we have to make that decision? Do we have any ideas?
July 18th.
Pretty much in July.
July 18th?
Yeah, it has to be certified July 30th.
So you would,
2 days after strategic?
you would pretty much, unless you want to have a discussion at the board level, we can move that up. But yeah, it's pretty much have your strategic
All right.
meeting and make a decision.
All right, thank you.
All right, we're going to move on now to our department update list. We'll start out with our city administrator, Gina Woods.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board. I don't have anything to add on the department update list. The only thing I've kind of got on my name, city attorney's kind of taken care of, and I know he's been updating you on the Tantera side. With that being said, keep in mind, if there's things that the Board of Aldermen or Mayor would like added, or you feel should be removed if it was one of your line items, I wait to get direction from you to update that. On another note, I know in April, I made a point to recognize some of our service awards. In May, we actually have 3. I know Police Chief had mentioned one of his employees, Lieutenant O'Day, 20 years this month, Michael Welty, 20 years this month, and Abby Bareth, 5 years, and City Treasurer. So we haven't had, we're kind of sporadic, but we've got several in May and several coming up in June. So just wanted to highlight that.
Very good. Mike Welty, Assistant City Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things. You may remember recently you approved the cleaning of 3 of our water towers. And I had mentioned to you that we were going to be using drones to do that. Well, they did that yesterday and today. I got a chance to go by and check it out. It is very interesting. And I think Zach is putting together an email for the board to show you guys some before and after pictures, and you'll receive that hopefully next week. But I've already seen them. It's really great work for a third of the cost that we're used to. So big win for us there. And then second, I have received approval from Missouri Department of Transportation to move forward with the Parkway Extension Project. So there's still a few hoops that we have to jump through on the state level, but they want me to move forward with our approvals locally at the same time so that we can get this contractor working starting in July. So at the next meeting, we will be doing the first reading for the Parkway Extension Project, which is kind of really cool after we've been waiting for this for like four or 5 years now. So we're finally going to see that project happen over the summer. So that's all I have. Thanks.
Mike, are they done with the towers then, the water towers?
They are, yeah.
In 2 days?
Yeah.
How long did it take before?
It didn't necessarily take too much longer, but it was just two-thirds more the cost.
Wow, yeah.
So
very cool. All right, thank you. All right, City Clerk, Tara Barth.
Thanks. Okay, I have a couple things. Annie, our court clerk, had her audit from the state OSCA department today, and she got a 98.9, which is awesome. I'm really proud of that, proud of her. Our new front desk, Angie Bowens, is doing really well. We have a Bowens and a Bowden and yeah, I get all confused.
And a Michael.
Kind of like you do. Yeah. She's doing really well, picking it up great. And I will be gone all next week at my International Clerks Conference. So if you need anything, you can contact Angie or Carrie Bell. She's helping out and stepping in. So,
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you much. Cole Bradbury, City Attorney.
As you all know, I'm pretty bored and don't have anything to do, but I don't have anything to report tonight.
Very nice. We can fix that.
Please don't. Please don't.
Challenge accepted.
All right, Chief Davis.
Just, if anybody's out tonight around Campton High School or School of the Osage, it's graduation, so traffic will be a nightmare. So we'll be having a presence out there. And everybody just have a safe Memorial Day weekend since we won't meet before then.
That's right. All right, Building Official, Ron White.
Just a couple of things. I'm sure Michael Ray's going to touch on this, but we had our open enrollment this week, and I just wanted to say thanks to him for coordinating that, and to NPR, Mission Square, and American Fidelity. The representatives that they had here for this were excellent, and I continue to learn new things each time. I'm sorry, did anybody else just hear some tambourines?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we've got, obviously everybody sees all the building that's going on, or that's still going, and we've been focusing on maintenance. I'm sure the first thing you guys noticed when you walked in here is how clean the floors are. We did have the carpets cleaned and the tiles scrubbed and grout sealed, but that's staying busy.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
City Planner, Kerry Patterson.
Yes, well, like usual, thank you all for the appointments to the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Adjustment. We've been working with Miss Gloria back here for quite a while. She's been with us for a while. Mr. Blair on the Planning and Zoning Commission has been here for a while and is welcome. And then, of course, I know Chad Carlson from his time here with the city, and he'll be great on that commission as well. But really want to thank the board and everyone involved with the appointment of the new city engineer. This is no rocks thrown at Cochran by any stretch of the imagination, but what the benefit to myself and Ron and the developmental departments within the city, having an engineer that is here for the sole purpose of enforcing our guidelines and our codes is absolutely invaluable to us. And I can't thank you all enough for making this happen at this point. Very excited to get him in the door, get working with him, and get going because we have so much going on in our little community. So thank you very much for that, and that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you much. Public Works, Zach Wilbur.
Thank you. Good news, the dogs got adopted out today.
Dogs what?
They got adopted out today,
Oh,
so yeah.
both of them?
Yeah, both of them, same
Sweet,
home. So yeah,
very
they got
nice.
to stay together, so that was good.
Do you like their stay in the new kennel?
Yeah, got along great. Yeah,
Good.
so it was nice, comfy, cozy. Like Mike said, the towers, clean, which is great. I am thoroughly impressed with them. Customer service was 10 out of 10, kept us informed the entire time. Can't recommend them enough, and like it's just incredible the job that it did and the time that it took them to do it. Yeah, it's just very remarkable. Bishir is on site right now at Public Works doing the key card upgrades and the new cameras. I think if they're not done today, they'll be done by this week, tomorrow, and that's cool. Other than that, business as usual. Things are feeling really good, and we're ready for the summer, so bring it on.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on Zach, I'll go ahead and thank him right now. Kim has a condo down Passover, and a couple of people, when you're mayor, everybody says, when are they going to mow the grass? When are they going to mow the grass? And so anyway, I texted him one morning. I said, hey, people keep telling me about this. We had to go to Columbia for a doctor's appointment, and went to Columbia, had the doctor's appointment. When we came back, they were cutting the grass. So thank you very much. Appreciate that, and it's much safer down there too.
Yeah, no problem. If it would stop raining, it'd be a lot
Yeah,
easier to cut it too. Yeah.
Careful, careful.
Yeah, that was good. All right, Human Resource, Michael Ray.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the board. For our 360 feedback, I'm meeting with Culture Amp next Tuesday to review our options and the pricing for that to bring to you to get approved. I'm assuming it's going to be, $5,000 to $10,000, but again, we'll see. Our communication specialist starts next Monday, the 20th, and then the engineer and a recreation specialist for the parks are scheduled to start June 17th. As Ron mentioned, we're currently in our open enrollment period for employees. I'd just like to mention real quick that this is the second year in a row in which there were no increases in our health insurance or benefit premiums. We did have representatives from NPR, American Fidelity, and Mission Square here on site. They've helped with the appointments for employees individually. They've done, group meetings as needed, and, answered any of the questions that the employees had. We also, going back to the whole loggers and continuing with Mission Squared, she also held 2 retirement seminars on Wednesday. One of them was Get to Know Your 401 and 457 plans, and that was in the morning. And then a Retirement 101 comprehensive overview in the afternoon. She was booked the entire time that she was here, and both seminars were well attended.
Awesome.
All right, thank you very much. Dave Van Leer, Cochran Engineering.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. On the sand sewer repairs, update from Stockman earlier this week on schedule was that they were going to be on site tomorrow to install the new manhole. Looking at the weather does not look favorable tomorrow, but their latest update was that they were going to be on site tomorrow to continue that work. We've also been in communications with Andy's Frozen Custard, letting them know the schedule on the project and what to expect. They seem appreciative of the communication and understanding of what's going on. The only other item I had was with tonight's approval, we'll get things going on the Beach Drive culvert replacement and try to get that project moving. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, on to the Alderman. Alderman Rucker.
Yes, I have a couple things. I do want to reach out and thank the EMS people, being one of them for a number of years in Public Works. The behind-the-scene things that those people do, and the hours whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. They're there to respond and take care of the situation. There are a lot of things that the public doesn't see that gets done by them. Cochran Engineering, thanks. I realize this is not goodbye. There's a transition, but you have been a wealth of knowledge. Your organization has been very professional. I was not in favor of that type of operation, but I was thoroughly wrong. And I want to say I appreciate all that you guys have done and the professionalism that you have brought forth to it. And I'm sure you'll continue that with your transition, but I very much appreciate what your organization has done. Gina and Michael Ray, the health insurance, okay? There's not been an increase. We won't have an increase in July, okay? Did we not budget for an increase?
When we budget, we do, yeah, we kind of split a half year, so yes. So hopefully overall, depending on how new employees and changes go, but you're absolutely right. We always estimate the second half or the first half of the new plan, not knowing what's going to happen.
And with that, because this just struck my brain, since we budgeted for an increase, obviously we'll be under budget there, like you said, hopefully. But did we also not budget for an increase in expense for those that opt out? Because if the expense for the health insurance goes up, does our opt-out money that people get go up?
It's all the same line item. We don't have that.
Okay.
That
But
opt-out
still,
is
it's built
still within that.
still
yes.
built within that line item. So within that line item, that we would be anticipating, hopefully, from those two things. And last, on the same subject, is there any way that they can give us a better opportunity of forecasting if there's going to be increases or not? I mean, we went through this, I think, before. I guess for those that, when do they know whether they're going to or not?
Usually March or April. We have a benefit advisory committee that we attend, and usually everything done behind the scenes is kind of brought. NPR's board approves the rate increases or however much they are going to be forecasted. Normally, they'll let us know in March or April. I think March 20th was the board meeting for them this year, so we can kind of find out first part of April.
I guess for those that are on a fiscal year of July or something like that, it works good. But with us, it is what it is, and nothing we can do with it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Barella.
I just want to say good job to Eric at Parks and his staff on the Food Truck Festival. Me and my son attended Saturday, and it was a beautiful day, and it looked like it was well attended, and so I enjoyed it.
Very good. Thank you. Alderman Hoffman.
Two quick things. One, I want to thank Dr. Kirksey and Superintendent of Camden and Troy Reisner, who is the new president of the Camden County School Board. Through Mike Welty's diligent work, they passed the easement that we have been requesting to run a redundancy line for water down by the school on Nichols. And without their help and support, that was dead in the water. So I really want to thank the school board for working with us on that. Secondly, tearfully, I'd just like to say that a leading citizen of Osage Beach passed away a couple weeks ago. Dick Ebling's wake is this weekend, and the lake kind of started on our crazy tourism roller coaster with Dick Ebling and that family, and we lost a staple in him, and a lot of the businesses here, he blazed that trail. So just want to say bon voyage and say hi to my dad.
Alderman Osteen.
I've got a few quick things. Actually, my first item was exactly what Alderman Hoffman just discussed, and that was recognizing the Eblings family's contributions to the city of Osage Beach. Those of you who do not know or familiar with it, but they basically were one of the leading instigators of the bar restaurant scene that we now see when they purchased the Con restaurant in Not Phyllis, you should know.
66, 68?
60,
No, it's in the 70s, I think.
68,
No, it's 60s.
Anyway, a lot of years of doing some good things for the city. So yes, his visitation is tomorrow at Hedges Funeral Home on 42 from 1 to 4 o'clock. Secondly, Mr. Patterson failed to acknowledge my presence on the Board of Planning and Zoning for another year.
What had happened was.
I wanted to call him out on that. I do have a formal request for our next Alderman meeting. I would like to, on the agenda, to have a discussion regarding the Oasis development. The Oasis. All the board members should know that basically we gave them a 6-month extension on the verification of the purchase of the Lakewood condominium timeshares. That extension expires June 30th. So obviously that is an item that's going to come back before the board, but I would like to force a discussion on it at our next board meeting because obviously there's a lot of pieces in play with that TIF and that development. From what I understand, and we get conversations here and there about it. Obviously the board is behind this, but I understand they're probably going to have to come back for another extension. But I'd like to get that going sooner than later.
Was that a formal motion or?
No, it's
It
just
is
a
basically
direction to make sure
a
I get it on
request
the
to add it on
agenda.
the agenda, just to get an update on where we're at with the purchase of the Lakewood condominium timeshares.
And we'll communicate that to
Noted.
them.
Because that will dictate, obviously, what the board's going to decide moving forward. Lastly, is just wishing everybody a happy and safe Memorial Day weekend. That's all.
Thank you. Alderman Rose.
Yes, and I'm echoing the Ebling, definitely longtime friends and longtime business people that we've associated with many, many years. Anyway, a shout out to Brinkman Construction Company. I live on Jeffries, and you can imagine with the rain that we've had and their equipment going in and out on the muddy, muddy ground that they have to deal with. Invariably, before the end of the day, they're out there cleaning off that road of Jeffries. It's just shout out. I've thanked them earlier and I continue to thank them for doing it. Food Truck Festival, Celeste, like you, I went over there on Saturday, was very impressed with the amount of vendors that they had and the response. I talked to Eric and he said it had been very good. Also, I was talking to a resident and said, at the same time I was talking with Eric and said, I hope that the city will look at in the future to have an allocation of this property to have a large area for a dog park. And I said, sincerely, we are looking at that. And I just dropped it because I didn't want to get into it because I don't know that much about it. But anyway, I just sort of muffled my way. But anyway, it was good. Congratulations, yes, to the seniors, Camden High School, School of the Osage, and also to a graduate from kindergarten that we happen to know, Cole's firstborn son, graduate from kindergarten. And he looked very cute on Facebook. So anyway, that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alderman Ross.
Just to tag onto the parks thing, I heard a couple comments that were unsolicited about how great the park looked. So not only did Eric do a great job with the food trucks apparently, but it's looking great. So Mike, please make sure that it's not often you get positive comments that are unsolicited. We're going to miss Dick Ebling, that's for sure. I miss seeing him up at Quick Stop. He was up there every day. Sometimes his dog would bark at me as I'd walk up. It left him in the truck. So it's talking to Dick. And then thank you, Alderman Hoffman. The work you did with the school to accomplish that easement, it probably people don't quite understand what that took. So appreciate your part in that too.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. All right. Most everything has been said that's on my list, but I did want to bring up, I wanted to thank, Dan Field of the Lake Sun Leader. I don't know if everybody's seen the article or not. It's on my personal or my mayor Facebook page and my personal one, but it's entitled "The Pied Typer," and it's a very well written article, and it talks about the positive part about the lake and leaders and what we do. And sometimes it's better to look at the glass half full than half empty. one thing I will read out of here is pretty neat. He said, you know, Osage Beach and Lake Ozark and others are examples of what happens when you have a goal and work to get toward that goal. Leaders don't just sit in their office and find reasons that something can't be done. They find ways to make things happen. So as we all look to grow the Lake of the Ozarks and people contact us, we do really look out for the best of the city, and we try to make things better. And I think everybody up here, for the most part, does look at the glass as half full rather than half empty. So thank you to all of you and the staff for doing that. And thank you to Dan, it was a great article. With that being said, I think we're done for the night. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Alderman Hoffman, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Burrell, I beat you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
I think it's a record.
Listen, I said an hour.
I don't think that's a record.
I said 1 hour. And I said that was ridiculous.
I had to call you out.